Right, guys, on the live. So, coming to this video that I tried to shoot yesterday, but it kept on getting thrown off with poor connection. So hopefully it's better today. As always, if you're watching later on YouTube, please hit subscribe so you don't miss anything. Or same as with Instagram. And if you feel like anyone can benefit from this message, please share, like, comment, etc. Tag them in it, because we'll be covering quite a lot of information. And today I wanted to go through, as I said, I mentioned it yesterday before it got chucked off. I've been doing a lot of conversation videos with quite a few fitness professionals that have got me on to talk a little bit about what their clients, etc., can do to keep them healthy, keep their clients healthy and strong during this lockdown period, healthy both physically, mentally, and emotionally. And so we're going to cover quite a lot of different things. So if you need to, go and grab a pen and paper, because I think it could be highly beneficial to you. Now, there's quite a lot that we're going to go through in terms of nutrition, mental emotional work, etc. And it's just going to cover a broad spectrum of things, which I think is going to be highly beneficial. So let's just dig into it. And as I just wanted to say, one of the first things that I've seen from a lot of people throughout this period is, people getting extremely stressed regarding this situation we all find ourselves in, and it's completely normal. And as I've mentioned before, a few of my posts, that fear is something that really does lower the immune system, much greater than a lot of other things out there. So, if you're constantly being exposed to things like the news that are causing you stress, anxiety, depression, etc., then just remove yourself from them. As I said before, a lot of times, for me, I'd never watch the news because it's just the left versus the right. It's divide and conquer, that old chestnut. And I think it was Denzel Washington who said, if you watch the news, you're misinformed. If you don't watch it, you're uninformed. But when you take yourself away from that world, then things just become a lot more stress-free. So, reducing your exposure to things that cause you anxiety, stress, etc., things that increase that is going to be huge. So one of the things we talk about is getting away from the gunman, okay? So if someone breaks in your house, you've generally got three options. One of them is to stand there and fight. The other one is to freeze, and the other one is to walk away. Now, if you stand there and fight or you freeze, you've got potential to actually be shot, which means you can be killed, which you don't want, all right, obviously. And if you walk away, you've got the opportunity to actually fight another day. So we're going to talk about getting away from the gunman. So the first thing you can do is remove yourself from fear. Hi, Agnes, how are you? So one of the first things that you can do is actually remove yourself from fear. So by doing that, first of all, turn off the news. They've been using, all sorts of, you go into deep into what they do and the way they broadcast their stuff, the symbols they use, the way it flashes. It's all designed to control your mind and to cause fear and panic. It's why I have things flashing across the screen. I have that at the moment. Lots of people, if you watch their stuff, they don't have that flashing to control you. And so just removing yourself from that, that whole melee of this nonsense, it's just going to go a long way to helping you, because anything that's causes you fear, anxiety, it's going to push you in your fight and flight state, which you don't want to be in. Okay, so removing it, turning off the channel, put it on something else. Put on some music instead, or listen to some comedy, or watch a film you enjoy, or ring up someone you can speak to and actually have a good conversation with. It's not going to stress you out. These are all things you can do. Hey, Mariana. Hey, so as we go through this, if you've got any questions, just shoot, put them in, and I'll try to answer them. But one of the first things you can do is remove yourself from fear and from things that are going to cause you stress and anxiety, because that's just going to drive your immune system straight down. And it's going to leave you in that constant state of fight, flight, and freeze. And hello, man, how's things? Fight, flight, and freeze. And if you are in that constant state of fight, flight, and freeze, which is great if you're being chased by a tiger or doing a workout, but you don't want to be in it chronically, because it'll just lead you to, you're not being able to digest food, constant state of panic, and it's just it's a nightmare situation for the body. It wants to be in a relaxed state. So remove yourself from anything that can cause that, okay? First of all, and even if it means friends of WhatsApp groups or messages that are constantly just causing you stress, remove yourself from that, okay? Other thing I want to mention, because a lot of people I've seen, especially today, now everyone's at home, it seems that everyone's going mad for the HIIT workouts and working themselves to death every single day. So what I'm going to say is, I mentioned it before in another video, is if you're overtraining, you're going to lower your immune system, okay? It's one of the reasons why I mentioned before, boxers, athletes take testosterone and other anabolic steroids because they need to recover. They push themselves too hard, and you see lots of boxers get dimed out for this or get caught taking testosterone. And when they get caught, they say, oh, my testosterone was low, so I needed to take something. It's like, no, your testosterone wasn't naturally low. You trained too hard. Your conditioning coach didn't know what he was doing, so it meant that your endocrine system was out of balance, your hormones got disrupted, and therefore your testosterone went right down. That led you feeling tired, sluggish, etc. So you needed something synthetic, okay? So be careful of that. HIIT workouts 2, 3, 4 times a week max, okay? You don't have to go OTT with them. The rest of the time, walks, stretching, maybe some yoga, whatever it is, go and do something, hobby. All these things are going to be huge for you, okay? You don't need to smash yourself every single day in the gym, okay? Hey, how's things? So that's another one, okay? Don't push yourself too hard. Don't redline yourself. If you feel yourself going to like 90% a lot of the time, just take it easy. Do other things. If you're doing things that are very yang, so that's yang, working out, pushing hard, yang, then you need to do things that are yin. So relaxing baths, saunas, things like this, okay? Massages or whatever it is. Spending time with friends and family, walks in nature, very important, especially in today's world where everyone wants everything done yesterday, and because everyone's at home, it seems like no one's switching off. So if you're not switching off, you're constantly on the go, and then it can lead to poor sleep because no one knows when the work day starts and ends. So be strict with that as well if you can. Like book ended days, have a time when you switch off, and then you can just relax. It's going to go a long way to getting you in your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest, recover, and digest nervous system. Other things you can do to keep yourself strong and healthy and vital, okay? They're all free. One of them is getting outside in the sun. Try and expose yourself to sunlight. Get up in the morning straight away, get some sun exposure, sunlight on your face. It's great for mitochondria, longevity. It's great for your circadian rhythm. Also, if you can get out in the sun when the weather's fantastic, 20 to 30 minutes of full body exposure. If you can, go and get a little sunspot. If you haven't got a garden, then go and find a sunspot, take your shirt off if you can and get full body exposure. 20 to 30 minutes, go slightly pink. It's fantastic for your health, okay? Stimulates your immune system underneath your skin, your cholesterol. Nothing can live with the sun. That's why I always say if they really cared about your health, they'd be talking about things you can do like this, okay? The sun has been shown to prevent 16 different types of cancer. It's the most hidden entity in the world, and you don't want to get burnt in it. Don't go and get burnt. Obviously, if it takes 20 to 30 minutes, then you cover up or hat on or whatever it is, but go and get full body exposure. Microbes, pathogens, etc. can't live in it, and it's just fantastic for your immune system. We always talk about there's no such thing as the flu season. It's vitamin D deficiency season. So we want you to make sure that you're going out and getting that exposure, and it's completely free, okay? And so also fresh air, being around nature, all these things are going to hugely boost your fresh air, vitamin D. That's one of the things they should be talking about. So I don't know if I missed out something there, but it'll come back to me. The other things you can do that are completely free to boost your immune system, one's cold showers. I know most people would rather have their organs cut out than have a cold shower, but it's absolutely fantastic for keeping your immune system nice and strong. Most people will live in these houses that are completely temperature controlled, and it means we're very weak internally. You've got a whole auxiliary nervous system sitting just underneath your skin, and most people are so weak, it's the parasites, etc., just eat people up because they're not strong internally. So cold showers are a very, very powerful way of helping your body to remain strong internally. Just 20 to 30 seconds to start with, you can build up to 2 minutes. You just try to get that shiver response, and it's fantastic for longevity. It's great for your metabolism, fat burning, cognitive function, stimulating the immune system, stimulating the arterial nervous system underneath your whole vascular arterial tree, which is fantastic. So it's got so many powerful properties. Also libido, sex drive, testosterone, all fantastic for all fantastic for it. Fantastic properties you get from it. So yeah, another thing, it's free. Other one, sleep. Go out there. Make sure you're getting good sleep. Okay. It's completely free as well. People always talk about supplements and what they can do herb-wise and what is turmeric good, etc. None of these things come close to sleep. Okay, so if you're not getting a good night's sleep, then you're never going to be recovering. You know, you can throw herbs and medicines at people all day long, but if you're not getting enough sleep, your immune system will never ever reach its full potential. Okay, so make sure you're getting sound sleep, electronics off at night, out of the room, completely black room at night, and so it means you can get a nice sound sleep. Okay, as I mentioned before, hay fever right now, yeah, it's a toxic body. So the more toxic you are internally, you need to clean your body inside. Once you do that, then it'll be you'll have hay fever anymore. It also comes from the gut as well, so things going through your gut lining into your bloodstream, and you're going to get an allergenic response as well. So you need to clean yourself out internally. If you want, I mean, if this has been a problem for ages, Agnes, then give me a shout and we can help you with this. So the other thing with sleep I want you to do, evening Sharon, other thing with sleep I want you to do at night is turn your Wi-Fi off at night if you can, okay? Because you've got a lymphatic system and a glymphatic system. So your lymphatic system, okay, you've actually got more lymph fluid in your body than you have blood, okay? So the lymphatic system allows the body to clear it of debris and toxins, etc. You stimulate it from walking, moving, okay? All the things, that's why it's really important to keep moving, okay? Exercise intelligently, because that's how you stimulate your lymphatic system, the body clears debris. Then you've also got your glymphatic system, which is in your brain. It's how the brain detoxifies, okay? It's why Alzheimer's has been going up and dementia a lot of the time, because the Wi-Fi, etc., has been linked to it. Not saying it causes it, been linked to it, putting metals into your brain, okay? So turn your Wi-Fi off at night. Otherwise, your body won't be able to get in that full stage of rest. Switch it off at night. Get like at least 8 to 10 hours without it. Absolutely fantastic for regenerating your body, okay? Hope this all helps. So we've gone through a few things. Now, people always want to know what they can add into their diet, etc., in terms of keeping themselves strong and healthy. One of the things I'll always like to talk about is not just what you can add, it's also what you can subtract. So in terms of things you can remove from your diet to stop your body being internally inflamed are allergenic and inflammatory foods. So for gluten, wheat, pasteurized homogenized dairy, alcohol, refined sugar, not fruit, which is full of vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, etc., but refined sugar, okay? So gluten, wheat, dairy, pasteurized dairy, homogenized dairy, sugar, alcohol, and caffeine. You cut these things out, you're going to be in a completely different person, and you're not going to be relying on stimulants. You're going to be having the energy coming naturally. Now, caffeine, for example, is what the Red Indians call empty fire. It's the illusion of energy rather than energy coming from within. So these are all things you can, when you take them out of your diet, you're going to be in a completely different place, okay? It's very, very important in terms of keeping your body healthy internally. Most people are looking at their health from the outside in, we're looking at it from the inside out. Once you're healthy internally, it's a complete game changer, okay? So, gone through quite a few things there. Other things, keep yourself hydrated, The best solution for pollution is dilution. So the more you can actually clean your body out, the more water you got in you in terms of being hydrated. You don't want to over drink, you can have too much water. Of course, you can drown, but 2 to 3 litres on average for people is fantastic. It allows the body just to clean house. Most people are chronically dehydrated because they're constantly drinking coffee, teas, etc., which are diuretics. It makes the body release fluid, and that's why you get lots of issues. Also, why people are wondering why they've all got high blood pressure and hypertension, because they're having 8 cups of coffee and tea a day, and they're complete stimulants, and when they cut it out, all of a sudden their blood pressure goes down. Shock. Twice in one day, yeah. Hope that helps as well. So just the best solution for pollution is dilution. Make sure you get enough fluids, okay? And that's water, okay? Every other drink that isn't just water actually has to be passed through the digestive system in terms of it actually gets processed by the digestive system. So have just water, 2 litres of water a day on its own without any other liquids, okay? Then we wanted to look at things that we can do. Yeah, so I mentioned before, if you are stressed, the body depletes itself of vitamin A, okay? So you want to include vitamin A. Thank you, Helen. You want to include vitamin A rich foods. Luckily, we're the biggest exporter of that, which is things like offal, liver, kidneys, very, very cheap. And you can have things like egg yolks, and there's lots of other foods that are rich in vitamin A. I think butternut squash, sweet potato, broccoli, etc. Have a look. They're very, very good for when your body's in a constant state of stress. But we ideally want to get the body out of that stress and be in a much more flow state, which is something I will go into at the end. Also, notice that this, as I mentioned before, is a lipid-coated, or the coronavirus is a lipid-coated virus. So pegs out with MCT, so if you can put a coconut oil, cooking coconut oil, have a tablespoon of that in your tea, put it in. It's always good. You don't have to go OTT with these things, but it's very, very powerful in terms of that. And coconut oil is antiviral, antiparasitic, antifungal, antibacterial. So it's just a whole host of benefits. It's great as a moisturiser. That was the other thing I was going to say. If you do get out in the sun, don't start using toxic sunscreens, because most of them are full of parabens, SLSs, and all sorts of nasties that have just been shown to cause cancer, be endocrine disrupting. So you head on over to www.reviveyourself.co. We've got the shop there. You go click on, I think it's underneath the Evolution Organics brand. You've got 𝗏 sunscreen there, or you can look somewhere else and get some sunscreens from Badger, places like that. Badger just some good sunscreens, all clean. A lot of them have got actually zinc oxide, which is great because it sits on top of your skin rather than going through it. Always say you shouldn't put anything on your skin that you wouldn't eat. When it comes to sun protection, zinc oxide is good because it sits on top of your skin, so it's not going through and penetrating your skin. And this is another reason why women, most women have got 5 kg of toxic sludge passing through their system every year, because they're putting on so much makeup, which is once again full of endocrine disrupting properties. And so you want to, if you can, use natural things, natural makeups. There's some good brands out there as well, and it's the same with fragrances. Completely unregulated industry. It's why people are taking the hotels in Vegas for millions of pounds, because they're just a health disaster, fragrances. So use essential oils instead if you can. Okay. Other things that we were going to mention was, yes, if you do find yourself coming down with a viral condition, things that you can do. But it is springtime, okay? So the body goes through cycles, and same as the earth, where you've got winter, winter, spring, summer, and then autumn. The body goes through different cycles, and at this time of the year, the liver actually starts to go through a detoxification process. So if you start feeling run down, or have snivels, or feeling a bit under the weather or a bit tired, don't think, oh my God, I've got coronavirus. It could just be your body going through a process of cleaning house, which is completely natural, okay? So just be aware of that and give your body some more self-love. So rather than pushing even harder or doing whatever, just give your body some love, some maybe get out in the sun if you can, nice baths, good food, keep it hydrated, watch some stuff that you enjoy watching, up your vitamin C intake. You just do things that are going to be very loving to yourself, because the only time that our society seems to allow people to do things that are loving to themselves is when they're already ill. Now, we've got cancer, go and take care of yourself. It should be doing before that, okay? Take care of yourself. And this time of year, if you start getting those symptoms, then just know it's all part of the process. So don't start freaking out, okay? And if you do feel yourself coming down with virus, things you can do, get yourself as hot as possible. Run a hot bath for 30 minutes. And because your body can live at temperatures that these viruses, etc., can't. So 30 minutes hot bath. If you're pregnant, don't do that, because the baby can't regulate the body temperature inside like you can. So don't do that. But otherwise, in your duvet, get as hot as you can. You have things like soups, liquids that are not going to be hard to digest. So your body's actually using the calories to fight the virus, and things like chilies, garlic, etc. If you can take it, in terms of your gut, if you can take it, things that are going to cause heat, because once again, you're going to actually cause an environment this virus can't live in, or pathogens, microbes, etc. Okay, really, really important. Also, if you do feel yourself coming down with a viral infection, etc., then you want to stay away from foods that are high in the amino acid arginine, okay, and instead go for ones that are high in lysine. So arginine-rich foods have been shown to exaggerate a chronic infection, a chronic viral infection. So these are things like oats, caffeine, chocolate, nuts and seeds, okay? A lot of things that people think are healthy, like nuts and seeds and oats, which nuts and seeds generally are, but they are, when it comes to this, feeding a viral condition, stay away from them. Instead, have foods that are high in lysine. Fish, got things like 𝗏𝘕, I think buckwheat. You can have a look at foods that are high in lysine, so that's going to really help, okay? So stay away from foods high in arginine if you feel like you've got a viral condition, and instead go for foods high in lysine, okay? Hopefully that's helped too. Was there anything else I was going to mention around that? Oh yeah, gut health. Now, look, when it comes to all health, your gut is extremely important, and when it comes to building your immune system, if you've got a chronic issue, I would 100% suggest working with someone during this time, because it's not got to be me, but it can be someone else, to get yourself through that. Because if you've got a chronic condition, all the studies have shown people that are going down with this or whatever. It could be anything, any other illness, any other infectious illness. If you've got a chronic illness already, it's going to cause issues. And if you've got something going on with your gut, all health starts in the gut, all disease starts in the gut. So where 80% of your immune system lies, you've actually got more neurons in your gut than you have in your brain and spinal cord combined. That's how integral it is. So you want to keep it healthy. And if you've got a good gut already, then that's great. You can add things like fermented food, cultured foods, good probiotics in there, okay? It's going to really help to get a healthy terrain, feed that friendly bacteria. You want to get a good, you want to have 85% friendly bacteria, 15% unfriendly. You need some unfriendly guys to keep good guys honest. But most people have this in reverse, and it leads to a dysbiosis and gas, wind, pain, bloating, brain fog, skin conditions, feeling tired, not sleeping, whatever it is, weight gain. So you want to get that right. If you have got a chronic gut issue, like celiac, Crohn's, IBS, whatever it is, constipation, then be careful with those foods because they can be too powerful sometimes. So be really, be mindful of what you're doing and just understand. And if you have got a chronic issue like that, I 100% suggest working with someone because that's not a place you want to be. Hopefully that's helped. Other things you can add, because people always like to talk about supplements. They are like the cherry on the sundae or the roof on top of the house. You always build from the foundations first. So everything we're talking about there in terms of whole foods, don't stress it. I always say get organic if you can, because that's obviously going to be the cleanest. But if you can't, don't overly stress. But just think about getting real food. Steak is steak, eggs are eggs, potatoes are potatoes. Always like to say, keep it 6-year-old simple. If your 6-year-old can't say an ingredient, you shouldn't be having it. Like if it looks like it belongs on the periodic table, it shouldn't be going in your body. And next time you pick up a loaf of bread at the supermarket, look on the back, see how many ingredients is in it. Most nowadays have got like 25 to 30 ingredients when they only need 6. It's just madness. And if you're eating food that's enzymatically dead, it's not going to do you no good, right? So cereal, for example, if it's on the shelf for 2 years, do you think it's really good for you? I always say do a test in the summertime. Get that cereal, put it outside, and get a strawberry, put that outside, and see which one the ants eat first. They'll have to be on death row before they go after that cereal, and they won't go anywhere near it. So just be mindful of that, real food, hydration, sunlight, intelligent exercise, breath work is another one you can do. Deep breathing, okay, really great for getting you in a relaxed state. Cold showers, turn your Wi-Fi off at night. A lot of people, I'm going to a deep brain trauma. A lot of people are experiencing emotional triggers from previously deep brain trauma. What extra measures? I can't see the rest of that question. 1 second. Yeah, I mean, everything that we're doing in terms of that, I want to get onto that in a sec, Helen, because during this, I want you to do all the things right first, like build the foundations when you're doing those things, and I also talk about like the mental and emotional aspect of things as well, because your mental and emotional health is intrinsically linked to your gut health. You've got a vagus nerve that runs from gut to brain, and when you're eating foods that are chronically inflaming that, it's going to cause inflammation to the brain. These poor food choices are going to feed the unfriendly bacteria pathogens, going to lower the immune system, means more can take over. So this is why it's really important to eat well. They're both intrinsically linked. But the other thing is being in that relaxed state is huge during this time. Okay, so all these things are fantastic. Okay, in terms of what you're doing, in terms of building health, building a strong immune system, keeping yourself vital. But the key to this, all this is almost futile if your mind's not in the correct place, your mental and emotional state. If you're in a constant state of stress because you're worrying about what's going on there in the outside world, hey Kerry, then this is just going to push. Your body's never going to be able to even digest the food you're eating because it's going to be in that sympathetic state, your fight and flight state. So we need to reframe things, and it's completely normal for people to be. If you're watching the news, and no wonder you're stressed. I watched it for 3 minutes every day and was like, of course no wonder everyone's panicking. Like, just turn it off, walk outside. Everyone seems alright. Like, the weather's good. It's amazing what can happen. It's like when you go to a country. I went to America a couple of years ago, and it was when Donald Trump was getting elected. And you look on the news, and it's like everyone hates each other. Walked around America for 4 weeks, and everyone was just lovely. It's amazing what they can do on here to create panic and fear, to sell whatever they want to sell later on, their drugs. Once again, it's a business. You've got to look into these things. I said many times, I don't celebrate when their drug sales go down, only when they go up. And you look at the corporations behind these things, like 6 companies own all of the world's media, okay? Same with 5 companies own all the world's food supply. So you think you've got a choice when you haven't. This is why it's important to go to local farmers and do your due diligence talking to them. Do your due diligence talking to them. Thank you, Ryan. So do that, okay? Because otherwise it's like the media. You think you've got a choice. You've got Fox versus CNN. They're all run by the same people. And look at it. Go and do your research into that. And it's why you want to look at independent sources. This is why when I talk to people about health and they bring up studies about stuff, and I'm like, why? How have you even brought that to the table? It's funded by who? It's been paid for by who? and what results are they trying to get? It's like 5G. What they're going to bring out? They're going to bring out research that's going to tell you that it's terrible for you. Are they? When they're the ones paying for the research? No. It's tobacco science. It's what we call tobacco science. And all these things that they said was healthy. And then years later, they get fined billions in court when people are dead or dying. So just be mindful of that, and don't take it to heart. Like, oh my God, just be really mindful of what's going on and be in a flow state. Talk about. It's very easy. Like, this is the thing right now. Let's have a quick sip of water. Delicious. This is the thing right now, is that most people are in that constant state of stress because they're really worried about what's going on in the outside world. Worried about getting this illness, this disease. But as I put today in my post, life is always uncertain. It just seems more so right now because people walking around with masks, etc. Like, talk about it's just in my world nonsensical, because that's all based on germ theory, which has been debunked years ago. And the same as epigenetics. Never tell you about this. It doesn't matter what genes you've got. You'll never express them if you live a certain way. It's why it's batshit crazy in my opinion to women to be cutting their breasts off when they got the breast cancer gene. It doesn't matter. If you live a certain way, you never express those genes. Your predisposition plus to disease plus modern lifestyle equals chronic illness. But if you live a certain way, you never express them. And so it's the same with the mental and emotional side of things. You want to be in that relaxed state. And yes, things are uncertain, but life's always uncertain, right? People walk out of their door every single day and don't come back. Relationships end, people get in car crashes, whatever it is, life's always uncertain. It just seems more so now, but it's when you can be at one with that uncertainty and just know that I completely understand, and it's not me not caring about things. I care more than most people about things, but I just don't want you to be in that perpetual state of stress, because the ego, as I wrote today, wants certainty, it wants to predict, but it's a completely futile thing to try and do, because life is uncertainty. So the more you try and hold on to something and grip it with all your might, the more you're resisting reality of what can happen, and then it leads to you being in more stress. It's like as Peter Cronin says, you're going outside and saying, why is the sun over there? The sun should be over there. We're one little speck on a bigger speck within a bigger speck of our universe, and then an even bigger speck of our galaxy amongst everything else. Why it's like, you just got to go with life. You just got to be in that flow state. And this is the thing. Why? Well, things aren't. Say life's not happening to you; it's happening for you, which is really important to see the difference in that. Okay, and so just try and understand. Be with life and go with the flow. Don't try and swim against the tide. Try and go with it. And I think it was Ram Dass who said, they said to him, "How comes you're so content? How comes you're so relaxed?" And his answer was, I don't mind what happens. And it's not that he doesn't care, he doesn't have dreams and goals and aspirations, but he's not resisting reality. Because when you resist reality, all of a sudden what's happening isn't what you want to happen, and now you're stressed about it. So it's doubly, you're doubly stressed, and so it's just pointless. And all you can do is do what you do and go with the flow of life. And once you do that, and once you're much more calm and relaxed, it doesn't matter if people say things. Whatever it is. I get people on here all the time saying stuff. I don't feel it. I might write back, but I don't feel it, because I know that what I'm coming from is a great place. I've done the research. I come from a good place, and it's just like, once you get to that place, you're very calm about things. It doesn't matter what goes on out there. Yes, be informed and look into it and understand what's coming so you can prepare. But don't be like, oh my God, I get a lot of messages from people like stressing about it. It's like, no, be informed, understand, but go about your life, do what you can. It's like with the 5G thing. Don't stress about it, do lots of research into it, and be working with a company where any of you that want my services, or something I'll be adding to my services, is shielding people's houses. So we'll be looking at protecting their bedroom, protecting their house. I've got we'll be working with a great company called 𝗏𝗏, which will be able to protect you at a quantum level. So there's lots of things you can do, okay? So don't stress. And so doing these things, okay? Be at one with what's going on, and just don't fight life. Go with it. And then on top of that, do all the things I've mentioned before: good food, high quality water, intelligent exercise, get sunlight, breath work, cold showers, speak to people that bring your mood up. Watch films or comedy that raises your mood. It's all about vibration. This is just our human experience. We've got 4 different bodies. The physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. The physical is like it's matter, or it's energy, it's lowest vibration, which is matter. And so when you actually get onto a high vibration, you realise these things. You can either get drawn into them and really let them affect you, or you can just be like, oh, that's what it is, and just do your thing and go through life. So hopefully this all helps, okay, guys? Obviously, adding in things. One thing I forgot to mention: things you can add to your diet if you want to boost your immune system. Things like zinc, selenium, vitamin D, vitamin C. Liposomal vitamin C is very good, because there's no toxic dose of vitamin C, but if you have too much already, it can cause gastric distress. So things like liposomal is very good because it gets digested in the mouth. We've got then talking about like mushrooms, cat's claw tea, 𝗏𝗏 tea, olive oregano is great. I mentioned before, 1 drop of that in some olive oil as a carrier oil is fantastic. Don't put it in water because it can burn your mouth, and just 1 drop, because for example 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is the same as 19 cups of peppermint tea. So yeah, things you can do, add that in as well. Grapefruit seed extract, colloidal silver. There's so many things that you can do antiviral wise, but save them for if you feel like something's coming on, because you're in that state. But remember, a parasite or virus or microbe or whatever, it can't take over a healthy vessel. I said before, germ theory has been debunked years ago. That's why going around and washing your hands 1,000,000 times with antibacterial soap is just barbaric, because you're wiping off all the good bacteria in your skin. You've got 7 microbiomes in your body. Your gut's your master microbiome. Then you've got your sinuses, your esophagus, genitals, etc., and your skin. It's why people's hands are going red raw. Yes, use soap, and then dry them off. Then if you want to moisturise, put some coconut oil on there, which is great because it's, once again, anti-parasitic, antifungal, antiviral, etc. That's going to be great for you. But don't go around washing your hands 1,000,000 times with antibacterial. It's why we've got massive problems in the world, because people having far too many antibiotics. You've got antibiotic resistance. In the WHO are the most corrupt organisation in the world, one of them. Even they predict by 2030, 10 million people are going to die every year from antibiotic resistance because they get handed out too much. So if you're using too much antibacterial soap on your skin, what do you think that's doing? Swiping off all the good bacteria on your skin, okay? And you need these bacteria. You need to live with them. This is what I mentioned before in my previous film. Like, people go around people don't understand why they got candida. And because they've got heavy metal toxicity. That candida is actually stopping the body being poisoned by the metal. So they start taking antifungal drugs, and all of a sudden they get terribly ill because that metal then starts to poison them. So just know this, okay? Just be aware. So anyway, things you can do, okay? As I mentioned before. To summarise, good food, single ingredient food, organic if you can, sunlight, breath work, okay? Hot and cold showers. Getting outside in fresh air, exercising intelligently. You can have supplements if you want, but also good hydration, okay? Making sure you're not stressing about things. Go do things that bring your vibration up, give you joy, okay? And be informed, but don't take it in. Just go with the flow of life. This chat is what Pete Crane also talks about. He says, like, coronavirus hasn't caused stress. It's just revealed things that are inside you already, okay? You might have been able to master them, you might be able to master them with just being busy in a day-to-day life. It's like people masking their symptoms with drugs, I mentioned before, hypertension. You go to doctors and they give you a beta blocker. Yeah, okay, medical industry is great for certain things like car crashes, putting people back together, okay, and acute injuries and acute pain. But when it comes to chronic injuries, they're not good because they don't know what to do, and it's just, a pill for every ill. They've got pills for you from cradle to grave. And so just know, And what they do is they give you a beta blocker, you walk around, it appeal to change your physiology, and when you stop taking it, what happens? Your blood pressure goes back up again because you haven't got to the root of the problem. And it's the same as what's happening right now. People can't go around masking their problems with drink and drugs and going out and eating, etc., or socialising. So they actually have to go within. And that's why fasting and things like that are so powerful. You know, fasting is another thing you can do to mitigate. It's fantastic for letting the body go into autophagy so it cleans its cells. But it's also great for mitigating 5G and frequencies as well, okay, because it allows the body to go into that state. So, yeah, I hope that helps, guys, okay? Remember, coronavirus hasn't caused stress. It's just revealed where you've got little weaknesses or things that need to be worked on. So it's time to go within as well. And that's sometimes it's great to do that when you're going without, because it allows you to get into these problems. Okay, I hope that helps. I don't think I've missed any questions. Anyone got any questions? I don't think I've missed any. But yeah, there's been a few. I think I've touched on that one, Helen. Yeah. So yeah, otherwise, that's it, guys. Stay happy, stay healthy. If you are dealing with a health issue, then give me a shout. You know, inbox me here or send me an email to ryan@𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏
𝗏𝗏yourself.co, click on the shop tab. And I've got it all there because I don't want you guys to go out and buy rubbish from 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗏𝗏, which I like to call 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, you know, synthetic, toxic rubbish, derived from things like coal tar. So, yeah, there's your options there. Otherwise, have a good evening. Stay happy, stay healthy. And, yeah, let's get through this. Powerful. Share this with people you may find will benefit from it. Yeah, like, comment, share. And any questions you got, give me a shout, and I'll obviously be doing more lives. And let's all stick together, guys. And, you know, because we're much more powerful than anything that comes against us if we all stand together. All right? As always, love you loads. Stay happy, stay healthy. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.